Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big Weck. Joining us on the Big Weck's Buffalo on the Rise is Tim Hiller. Tim is from Hiller Comerford Injury and Disability Law. Great to have you here today.
Great to be here.
Thanks for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the law offices. I'm sure everybody was familiar with the law offices of Kenneth Hiller. So tell us why you're making the change to Hiller Comerford.
Sure. So, as most people out there know, the law office of Kenneth Hiller was founded in about 1999, and it really developed a reputation in the area as a Social Security disability law firm. But what a lot of people don't know is that, from the beginning, my father was always interested in expanding out into other areas of law where he felt he could make a difference in other people's daily lives. So, for instance, over the years, my father had established a VA disability practice, a personal injury practice, a consumer rights and a civil rights practice. And so, kind of because of he was a victim of his own success with Social Security disability, it was hard to kind of get the word out that we did other things. And so part of this rebrand is to bring attention to some of those other areas and to build upon, the success that he's had with the Social Security disability. The other thing is we wanted to kind of take a moment, Ida Comerford and I, my partner, wanted to take a moment and just kind of think about what direction we wanted to go in as a firm, and rebranding and changing the name kind of gave us an opportunity to focus our attention. And so we picked 3 areas of law: veterans disability, Social Security disability, and personal injury. And we're kind of focusing around that. And so that Hiller Comerford brand that we're launching is, we really wanted to be synonymous with those 3 areas.
So the office of Kenneth Hiller is no more. That's it's the new face of the company that you have now. Correct.
And there's some fear. When Ida and I bought the firm actually in 2021, and the law office of Kenneth Hiller had been so successful, you're kind of like, well, do we really want to change the name, right? But Ida and I had a talk, and we felt that we didn't want to just take over this company and just kind of like coast. We felt that we owed it to my father's legacy to continue to try to improve it. And so part of what we're trying to do by changing the name is to live up to that and to take the company to the next level.
Was that a difficult thing for your dad? I mean, I know family businesses, sometimes when the younger folks come in and they take over, it's kind of like, yeah, you can take over to a point, but was it a tough thing?
I think it was and it wasn't. I'm sure he had some feeling. He built this from nothing. The law office of Kenneth Hiller, he built this from nothing. I was there. I was a teenager when he was building this, and so I saw the work that he's put in over the years. So I'm sure there were some feelings, but I think mostly from talking about him, he's just excited for Ida, who's a dear friend of my father, and obviously for me and the direction that we're headed in.
So tell us a little bit about your background and about Ms. Comerford's background.
Yeah, so I was basically born into this. Like I mentioned, I was a teenager when my father started the firm, and so I was kind of coming of age. And I remember him. We would be in the car back then. They still had cassettes, and so I remember listening to a cassette tape of a Social Security disability hearing and kind of asking my father questions. What's going on, and he would explain it to me, or he would come home and talk about a personal injury case. And so I was kind of born into this practice. Now I did have a brief period in college where I thought maybe I was going to be a doctor, but kind of destiny kicked in, and here I am. And Ida was born into it in her own way as well. She obviously she has no family relation, but what I've gotten to know about Ida, she was born in South Buffalo, and she's, her upbringing really instilled in her, a deep need to want to be helpful to other people, and specifically regular everyday people who are in need, and so she was born into the ethos of this law firm, and so we both kind of bring that background. But we also bring some energy and a desire to take this to the next level.
You should have met me sooner. I would have introduced you to cassettes that have music on them.
That's right.
So what makes Hiller Comerford different from other law firms in the area?
Well, there's a few things. Number one, I think as it comes to Social Security disability, my father did not get a reputation for being excellent at Social Security disability by accident. You know, we really are the brain trust when it comes to Social Security disability. We have law firms all around the country who hand us their unfavorable disability decisions and say, help us. You know, so it's not just that we're the brain trust in Western New York or even in New York State. We really have a national reputation as being on the forefront of that area of law. Another thing that distinguishes us from other law firms in the area is that we handle veterans disability law. You know, there's a huge need for our veterans. You know, especially with you know, unfortunately with the wars that have gone on, you know, in the 2000s, we have a lot of injured and disabled veterans. And you know, they have a need for services. They have a need for disability benefits because they've been injured. And you know, dealing with the VA is a very difficult process. And so one thing that separates us is, you know, we dove into this very complex area of law, and you know, we've built this veterans disability practice. You know, I think the final thing that separates us in the personal injury realm is, number one, we truly are in it for the clients. You know, you're never going to see with us, you're never going to see us Viking bill a client for, you know, fees and costs. You know, and the other thing is, we're not just in it for a quick settlement. You know, if your case needs to go to trial, we'll take your case to trial. You know, we're not just going to sell the case short just because, you know, it's more cost efficient for us to, you know, settle it quickly. We really are in it to improve our clients' lives.
Tim Hiller from Hiller Comerford Injury and Disability Law, thank you very much. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
For more information on the law offices of Hiller Comerford, you can call 1-866-HILLER-LAW or www.hillercomerford.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by the law offices of Hiller Comerford.